Oh, hurrah, I heard you rank medkits. Anyways, so we're going to go ahead and choose our town. You're able to go between any of the towns that are started, which sadly not all of them are listed right now, so that's a little disappointing. Normally you'd be able to start between anywhere from Zanesville all the way south to North Burb, South Burb, Mumford, Depot 66, Clinton Farm, Midway, Odenville, and Boneclaw, if I'm not mistaken. I would have liked to start at Zanesville, but it looks like we're going to have a little adventure to get over there. So we're going to start at Boneclaw, just because of the fact it's the closest. Alright, so here we are in Boneclaw, inside of the life net. You'll see there's a few other players here as well. And we're going to go ahead and close these little tips again. And we're going to start the missions. You do want to make sure to do all the missions here, just because you're able to get free equipment, Sorry, yawn there for a second. We get free books, recipes. God damn it, I keep doing that. Notice how they're going to give me refined bandages. That's going to be very helpful later on. You can see that by pressing L, and you can see I can make bandages. And it also increases my trade skill every time I rank it. Sadly, I only get one crafting queue at a time, so we're going to make whatever bandages we can for right now. Going to go ahead and move our crafting queue down over here. And we're going to go ahead and go outside and start doing our quest. If there's any delay, sorry about that. Whenever you open doors in Fallen Earth and go to the outside world, there's a brief pause. It doesn't matter what your settings are. I wish it could be addressed, but sadly it's a little annoying. Alright, so you use Disrupt once, that completes the first mission, and then they have you kill 4 of the dance. Again, shift-click to be able to loot them, if you want to loot everything at once. And I'm going to steal this little bar and eat it for HP regen. You'll notice on the first charge shot, I will either aim for the head or I won't. It depends on what I get at first. But headshots do not count with charge shots. I'm going to show you again. Notice how on both of those I did not get any headshot on the parts that were charge shots. But I got the headshots afterwards. So we're going to go back to that NPC and talk to him again, because he's going to give us more missions, and he is where we get a horse. So the people looking on that usually join the game and are in help chat asking how do I horse, we're going to solve that issue right now and teach you how to horse. Alright, and he gives you the ability to craft pistols really quick, but you really only want it for the ammo. The Platmaster pistols, sadly, are extremely long on reload time, so it's usually not worth your time investing into them. Now don't get me wrong, they look cool for what they are, but they have 6-second reload compared to your rifle. They might do a little more damage for the fact that you're shooting a little over half the damage of your rifle, but the 6-second reload during that time, the rifle would have caught up, so it's kind of shenanigans. Alright, so he wants to gather, well, wants us to gather scrap copper, so we can make our little ammos here. Oh yes, and you can use the shift-click option, so that way you don't have to click on them after you open them. So I'm going to show that really quick. And then once we go through this, I believe we get our horse next. So that's going to be our next objective. Once we get our ammo crafted, we're going to go down, we're going to get our horse, and we're going to go on a little trip to Zanesville. So should be a little enjoyable. And he's going to have us craft some ammo. So while we're crafting ammo, I'm going to go ahead and get a few more bits of copper just because it's nice to have the ammo. By the time I craft it, I'll have probably 3 sets ready to go. So during this time, we'll talk about stats, skills, and mutations a little bit. You're pretty much going to ignore mutations until around level 13, which then you are going to get empathic, which I'm going to explain why once we actually hit 13, which is going to be a while, but please ignore your mutations until you are able to actually use them, because otherwise you're going to waste points and you're going to feel bad afterwards. For your skills, you pretty much only want to focus on your weapon skill and your mutations and armor use. And you'll notice I leveled up. Nice little sparky lightning shenanigans. And that's going to give you a little buff that increases your regeneration for health, stamina, and gamma. Pretty much makes your character invincible at these early levels through most NPCs. So that's going to be helpful for you for a little while. And sorry, I had a phone call for a moment, so I had to answer that. So, as I said, we're pretty much going through weapon skills, which is pretty much what you would equip. Again, you're not really going to care about that for the time being. It's pretty much level 5 and beyond weapons, which I don't remember the exact number. I believe it's 26. We're going to find that out once we're on our way towards Zanesville. And as for your other skills, you are not going to focus on any of those skills other than maybe first aid, but that one's going to be ignored until you can at least get your Staunch Wounds 2 and your Resuscitation 1 so you can revive friendlies. So let's talk about stats. Stats, of course, use 5 stat points instead of 1 ability points. They use 5 instead of 1, which I'll show you right now. Raise any of these by 1, it's going to take 5 points every time. So you want to be careful where you put points into. And since this character specifically is going to be a crafter and he's going to go rifle, for the most part I'm going to raise int regardless. So we're going to go ahead and max my int just because, and we're also going to max my endurance because I want to have the HP. Most characters will max endurance. I recommend it. If you are concerned on what your build might be end game and maybe you don't want to accidentally spend too many points early, just for the simple aspect of you don't feel like refining it out later, which it's not that bad until you reach around level 40, which is when it gets really expensive. So for the most part, you can fix these things very, very soon. But we're going to go ahead and pump my points into my endurance and intelligence, just because. Alright, and we have 16 scrap copper. We're going to go ahead and push that to 20, just because. You'll notice my trade skills going up and up and up, just because of the fact you are gathering from these nodes. Generally, they're about 30 ranks above what they are. So these rank 1s will at least get me up to 30 or 31. So that's always helpful. And we're going to get one more, I think. Yeah, we're going to get one more scrap copper, and then we're going to go back to the NPC that gave us these missions to begin with, and he's going to teach us how to horse. And once we get our horse, we will go ahead and start another video. So that way, this one can be uploaded much faster than any of the later ones, just because. And he'll give you makeshift weapons along here with regenerative. God, what is that thing called? It's under J. Life net regenerative upgrade, which increases your health regen every 6 seconds. As for regenerations, all of them tick at whatever the total amount is, which is defined by your stats and your equipment, which I will explain another time. There we go. Sorry about that. I forgot when you first open this up with Boneclaw, it does freeze for a moment. So pretty much you can see all the statistics layouts right here, which affects your health regen. But basically it's a total of your stats that affect that. Health is strength and endurance. Your stamina is dexterity and coordination. And your gamma is actually your intelligence and your charisma. Perception and willpower only give you resistance spreads. Do not raise willpower. For the love of God, do not raise willpower. It is a terrible stat. You will never find a use for it. So just don't put any points into it. You'll notice I haven't used my horse yet, just because of the fact I have to run back and forth to this NPC, and I need enough stamina to reach Zanesville.
User joined your channel.
So we're gonna head over there in just a moment. I'm gonna have to mute Sniper God. Sorry about that. I have people joining in my voice comms, and I know they're gonna go ahead and ask stupid questions of other games that I'm not caring about right now, because I told them I was working on this. Yeah, I'm very nice to my friend. Sarcasm. It's so good. Alrighty, so we're gonna turn this in, get us a nice regenerative tool, so that way we can get a little more HP regen. Oh right, and gamma and stamina are half while you're moving. Health regen is always full, but stamina and gamma while you are on the move will be reduced by 50%. Right, and then we're going to run towards the local garage. We're not going to use our horse until we reach the garage. And then once we summon our horse, I will stop the video and we'll go on to the next video. And we're going to head our happy asses over to Zanesville. And also, before anyone asks, yes, I know my microphone's a piece of crap. It's not that fantastic. Alright, and I'm going to explain how the garage works. The garage manager is what you would park your bikes, cars, ATVs, pretty much any vehicle. And then of course you have a stable manager which does the same thing, but it's for your pets and your horses, blight wolves, things of that nature. So remember, if you plan to get a horse, you're going to want to try and keep one, and if you want to get pets, make sure to keep your stable clear enough so you can park your pets as well if you need to switch between them. And then of course there's always a fuel and feed merchant at every single one of the garages. So you will be able to get repair kits, gasoline, horse feed in case you need it, veterinary kits. You can get a wasteland mutt, which is one of the first pets that you can get for a very, very steep price for a new character. It won't matter later on. I personally don't get pets. This is your mailbox. Almost, and I repeat, almost every garage has a mailbox. You can use this to send items to and from each character, or obviously if you want to be able to get anything from the auction house that you have purchased, or anything somebody has purchased from you, the proceeds or items will go to your mailbox. So always pay attention to that. And of course, whenever we have events that send us free items, we're going to have them sent to our mailbox every single time. Alrighty, so we're going to summon the horse so you can see the pony. And we're going to name him Captain Derp. Alright, and we're going to get on Captain Derps and stop the video right there.